Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. I am trying something new, ladies and gentlemen, so I hope that you like this new setup that I have. I was doing a little bit of cleaning in the bunker, and by the time you knew it, I had the whole thing reorganized. So this is going to be the new look in the background from now on. Now before we start this video, I want to make sure that anyone that lives in Fairbanks, Alaska, and or in and around the area, for example, let's say that I call you up today and say, hey, can you be here tomorrow and meet me at REI or at Home Depot or at the Holiday gas station or something like that. You'd be like, yeah, I can meet you there, no problem. The reason is this, ladies and gentlemen. Tomorrow during our live stream at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to have a really nice giveaway. I think I'm giving away 5 solar generators, and they're the ones that I've reviewed over the years, and now it's time for me to go ahead and pay them forward because I've got more solar generators to review. But it's only going to be to those of you that live here and or around the Fairbanks area. Why? Because I can't really mail them out. I have to actually hand deliver them to you, so we would have to meet somewhere in and around the Fairbanks area. So you don't necessarily have to live in Fairbanks, but if you can get here sometime this weekend coming up, you can enter to win, and if you win, I will personally deliver it to you, and meet you somewhere in town. Now let's get to our video. And one last thing, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you that are newly subscribed and are new community members to the Alaska Prepper community, the reason that I am doing this giveaway to people that only live in Fairbanks is twofold. One, because I can't really mail out these solar generators to someone that would win them, let's say in the lower 48. But number two is because not very long ago, I think maybe within the last couple of weeks, we had a really big giveaway that our sponsors were very generous and gave away a whole bunch of stuff to people all over the United States. So this one here is for the Fairbanks community, and or if you can get here within a day or two if you end up winning. Now let's get to this story. Now this article here, ladies and gentlemen, is a little more than a year old. Major supermarkets to ban paying with cash or card and only accept payments via digital ID and facial recognition technology. Did you hear that? Not only are they banning cash, but also paying with card. That way you will be forced to download your biometrics on whatever system it is that they want you to download it on. And I'm sure there's a few videos going around with that new thing that's coming out where people are actually volunteering to have their irises scanned so that they can be in a system where they don't have to carry any ID with them or anything like that. Now that article that I just referenced was a little more than a year old, but listen to this. Man refuses to accept store's cashless agenda, is told that the police are on their way. So there is this Aldi in the UK, I believe it is, where they don't accept any cash or anything. You can only use your biometrics in order to purchase things. And the system that they have within that store is like a very high-tech camera system that actually can track everything that you put in your cart and then just automatically deduct the payment that you owe them from your account once you leave the store. And this reminds me of a video that I saw here not too long ago. I've talked about this in the past where I said that eventually stores, supermarkets, etc., they would have 100% cashless, where there would be no one working there and there would be robots there. Why? Because there will be no empathy with robots. The only type of empathy that a robot can actually do unto someone else is if it's programmed into them. So for example, if you have a hungry mother who comes into a restaurant, or that comes into a supermarket to purchase something and they don't have enough credits on their card, who's going to care? Who's going to help them out? Maybe if someone behind them would be able to give them some of their credits, but will they even be allowed to do that, depending on their social credit score? That's where we're headed, ladies and gentlemen, if we keep down the road that we're going now. So just put yourself in this situation. You're in a supermarket, you don't have enough cash left on your digital wallet or whatever it is that they end up using because your social credit score is not very high. But the person behind you has plenty of credits left on their digital wallet. But since they have a really good social credit score, then their digital wallet is going to be programmed to not be able to help you because you have a lower social credit score, or they're going to be afraid to help you because they don't want to bring their social credit score down. Now that is where this is headed. And I was watching a video of a video game not too long ago, and it wasn't because I'm into video games. I'm really not, but it was because this video game is like an AI video game where you can actually become one of the players in the game and go talk to other, what they used to call NPCs, non-player characters, which were like just random characters that are in the game to fill up space, right? But now you can actually go and talk to them and have a conversation with them. AI is actually able to have a conversation with you. You can tell them, hey, how are you doing? And they'll say, oh, I'm doing great, and actually hold a conversation with you. Now, what is this leading to? What I think is that in addition to having supermarkets and stores in the future where you cannot use cash or card and you have to use your biometrics, is that there will be one type of worker in that store, with the exception of the robots that have to stock everything, and there will be robot police, right? And when you go to complain to them, they're going to tell you to go ahead and pack some sand. That's who's going to be policing the stores in the future, ladies and gentlemen. They're going to be robot police. Why do I say that? Because just like in that game where you can go up to an AI and they can have a conversation with you without the AI knowing what you were going to talk about ahead of time, they're going to be able to program robots to be, protecting stores and supermarkets and answering your questions, but with no empathy involved whatsoever, meaning humanity is going to be taken out of the equation. A man in the United Kingdom entered an Aldi store and immediately became a warrior for freedom by standing against a cashless society as the police were called because he tried to buy some strawberries. Hard currency, despite the store's ban on cash transactions. Some people are going to say, but AP, it's the store's, policy. It is a private store. They're owned by, that store, Aldi, is owned by a private person or whoever, right? So why do they have to accept cash? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we as a nation, I'm talking about here in the United States, and I'm assuming that in the UK and Great Britain it's about the same thing, right? But here in the United States, I'm assuming that we have laws. And here, cash is legal tender, meaning that it can be used for public or private transactions. And we would assume that stores that are, or supermarkets or businesses that are operating within our nation's borders would follow those same laws that apply to all of its citizens. So if cash is legal tender for public or private transactions within the borders of the United States of America, wouldn't you think that businesses that operated within those borders would have to accept cash? Because the government has made that legal tender. So if a store is operating within the confines of your borders, it should be following the laws that your government puts forth. So in my opinion, stores, even though they may be privately owned, they should accept cash, and there should be no choice that they can accept cash. Now, they can give you all of the variety that they want to give you. They can say, okay, we'll accept cash, we'll accept Bitcoin, we'll accept Litecoin, we'll accept credit card, we'll accept debit card, we'll accept wooden nickels. All right, ladies and gentlemen, they should be able to give you a choice if they want to, but they should at the very least accept cash by law. And here they continue to say, the brother of the former British Labour Party leader, Jeremy Corbyn, was trying to pay for a pint of strawberries with exact change at the Aldi counter. But since the Greenwich store operates entirely on the Aldi app, his money was refused. Corbyn left the money on the counter anyway and exited the store with the fruit. Store employees then reported him to the police for stealing the produce, according to a report published Monday by the UK Independent. And here he says, quote, I am offering exactly the right amount of money. Corbyn said this before exiting the store, and he said that he has paid with legal tender. They are trying to get us out of cash, ladies and gentlemen, because they know what is coming. I've stated in previous videos that I believe that something big is going to happen soon. And I'm not saying that and haven't said that to try to make anyone panic. But it is that we are almost at the end of this financial system. And not just here in the United States. I'm talking about worldwide. We're almost at the end of this financial system. A lot of people are talking about what's going to happen next month, August, or this month. We're in August already. But what's going to happen later on this month, August 22nd, when the BRICS nations meet, and they're supposedly going to go ahead and announce that they have their own currency for whoever joins the BRICS nations bloc. And that would have create turmoil for the US dollar, which will create turmoil for most other currencies around the world, because a lot of them are pegged or account on the US dollar's standing to depend on how they're going to be doing in their countries. A lot of people don't know that the strength of the US dollars a lot of times makes the difference or not on whether a nation will be able to pay their debt or not, depending on how much they borrowed and at what interest rate and how many, let's say for example in India, how many rupees there are to the dollar. See, the higher that a dollar gets in value, you know, in reference to other nations, the harder it is for those other nations to pay back loans that they took out in denominated dollar terms, ladies and gentlemen. So the dollar's value makes a big difference all over the world. So we'll have to see what happens here. All I know is that if you're preparing, you're right. If you're not preparing, you're wrong. Because the best case scenario is that you're preparing and you have plenty of those things that you need in order to make it through a certain time period and never need it. That's the best case scenario. That you open up a package that's 10 years old, like I did here not too many videos ago, where I opened up that package of Go Foods that I purchased back, I think it was in 2012 that I purchased, and I tried it. I was like, wow, it's still good after 10 or 11 years. It was some of the very first survival food or long-term food stores that I've ever purchased from when I started preparing about 11, 12 years ago. So that's the best case scenario. The worst case scenario is that you will need that food and everything else that you need in order to prepare: energy, food, water, medical, self-defense, etc., etc., etc. Right? That's the worst case scenario, is that you'll need it, but you'll have it. But the very worst case scenario, ladies and gentlemen, is that you don't take a look at what's going on around you, and that you'll need those preps, but you never prepared. And now you're going to have to ask someone for help, and then even worse, maybe take it upon yourself to do something that you would have never done, all right, in order to get food for your family so that you don't see them starve. So just get prepared. I'm not going to read through this whole article. I think you got the gist of what's going on. They are going to try to take us cashless. I believe that they are going to try to create some kind of an event where most people are going to ask to get their eyes scanned so that they can have a digital wallet so that they can feed their families. So get prepared, ladies and gentlemen, so that you can use your no muscle. I love that saying, and it's from Bear Independent. I love that saying that you can use your no muscle if you get prepared. Right. Having said that, remember tomorrow, Friday, 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. Everyone is welcome. We'll have a great time. And I'll tell you what, I'll even give away a few of the AP silver coins, all right, to anyone. And no matter where you live, even if you live in a foreign nation, I'll go ahead and give away a few silver coins to anyone that wins. That way, everyone can have a chance to walk away with something, either a solar generator or a little shiny silver coin tomorrow. All right. I hope you have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you've had a good week so far, and I hope to see you tomorrow. God bless every one of you. God bless America. I'm Alaska Prepper, and I am out.